Shalom. Call law Yahweh Shem Shai by Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone, that rule well, that taught us his truth, the 100% truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim on the four corners of this earth, risking their lives each and every week on these highways and the byways, pushing his truth, trying to wake up the elect, and to the brothers and sisters tuning in for edification. Come with another lesson, and this lesson is going to be speaking about, in the Bible, sex is marriage. And when you go basically into the scriptures, the Bible speaks about how marriage is conducted, through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. Not how, today is, it's not lined up to the modern day marriage, where you have to basically, a man gets on his knee and propose to a woman. Now, you can have ceremonies and stuff like that, but it doesn't say anything in the Bible where the man's supposed to get on the knee and propose to a woman, you know what I'm saying? And you don't have to go down to the court system or nothing like that to sign, for marriage license, you know what I'm saying? That's predominantly all made up through, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, you know what I'm saying? He made this up just to basically, make money off of man and woman, And I'm going to go into some topics that speak about, some scriptures that speak about this topic, and it's going to be straight to the point, It's not going to be long, but hope it's edifying. And this is something important, that this was, part of our heritage. We didn't do these customs that they do now. That's the Romans. That's a Roman custom. You know what I'm saying? Put a ring on a finger. You can look it up. You know what I'm saying? You do your own research. That's not something that we, as a people, the so-called self-proclaimed, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which is the 12 tribes of Israel, we didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't our custom. But now we've been generation after generation passing it down, you know what I'm saying, following what the ways of the heathen, which is the self-proclaimed so-called white people, man, woman, and child. We've been following their ways, you know what I'm saying? We've been going off. The Most High gave us instructions to follow, and this is the scriptures that we're supposed to follow. And so now let me go to Genesis chapter 24 and 63. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field, and at the evening tide he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. Verse 64. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lightened off the camel. Yeah. So if you see it here, Isaac was out in the middle of the fields, you know what I'm saying? He was meditating. So he decided to, walk over to the camels, Rebekah seen Isaac, coming towards her, In her mind, she was like, man, to herself, this is a nice looking, handsome man, you know what I'm saying? Isaac was pleasing, to Rebekah's eyes, It's just how, how a woman would see a man today, you know what I'm saying? But it's done different now, you know what I'm saying? The women back then was straight to the point, Now here, these women, they play number games, you know what I'm saying? They want you to chase them. But in this incident here, you know what I'm saying, Rebekah seen Isaac coming towards her. And she was, was like, wow, he's a nice, handsome young man, Verse 65, for she had said unto the servant, what man is this that walk in the fields to meet us? And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore, she took a veil and covered herself. Yeah, you know. So she took her veil and covered herself, you know, basically from Isaac, you know what I'm saying? You know, and back in the ancient times, this is what the women used to do, you know. They cover their faces, you know. They was not, you know, seen, you know. They pretty much had some class about themselves. They was modest, you know, and they did, you know. So when they had, and definitely when they had like ceremonies, you know what I'm saying, you know, they covered their faces from the men, you know what I'm saying. And what did the men do? You know, they lifted up that veil, you know what I'm saying, you know, and went in for that kiss. So they basically had some, you know, some class about themselves. They were ladylike, not like the women today, you know what I'm saying. You basically you know everything she got, because she gonna show it right in front of you, you know what I'm saying. She's not gonna cover herself up, not even her face. She's not even gonna cover her body up. And that's just how it is today, you know. Just thankified, you know. Verse 66, and the servant told Isaac all things that he had done. Verse 67, and Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Yeah. So you know, basically reading this scripture, it's letting you know what I'm saying. What did Isaac do? You know, he basically popped, you know, Rebekah, you know. He had sex with her, and then what did it say? She became his wife, you know. So they didn't have to go, you know, to no justice or peace or no marriage, or even go get some marriage license. Okay, you sign first. Now you sign, and we're gonna send it in the mail for you. No. The marriage was consummated by having sex, you know, and that's what it said in the scripture, you know. I'll read it back again, verse 67. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Yeah. So, you know, and what is the two things? It's two things, you know what I'm saying, basically. A man, you know what I'm saying, how he consummate, you know, the marriage with sex. He either plants his seed or his rod, you know what I'm saying, to the woman. And what did Isaac do? You know what I'm saying? He planted that rod, you know what I'm saying, into her, into Rebekah. He didn't get on no one knee talking about, will you marry me? Nah. He put that rod on her, you know what I'm saying? And that's what consummated the marriage. And that was by sex. It wasn't by no signing no papers. It wasn't nothing, you know, how, you know, the world portrays things now, you know what I'm saying? And I can go to Malachi 3:6, you know what I'm saying? Because the Most High, he don't change, you know what I'm saying? This is what, you know, the man has changed everything. And he's trying to be, you know, Esau trying to be the Most High, you know. Malachi verse 6, for I am the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Yeah. So the Most High didn't change anything, you know what I'm saying? He didn't change the way marriage was and marriage is supposed to be today. He didn't say anything about, you know, you have to gather, you know, you have to send out postcards, you know, people to come to your marriage, or you have to get on one knee in front of all these people to show that you love this woman. No, it doesn't go down like that. It's not operated like that. Through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, we supposed to follow what the Most High say do. We don't supposed to follow what man say do. So if you lay down with a woman that you've been talking to lately or whoever, and you have sex with that woman, that's your wife. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful what you're doing, you know what I'm saying, when you're talking to these women. And that's vice versa too, with the man too. And that's plain and simple. Once you lay down with a woman, that's your wife. You know what I'm saying? And that's speaking to you, especially, the Akim, especially the two-thirds niggas in this world, you know what I'm saying? They hate to listen to this truth, hate to hearken to this truth because they stiff-necked, stubborn, and hard-headed. And that goes for man and woman, nothing different, you know what I'm saying? And I got a couple more scriptures that goes into that too. Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and he lie with her, he should surely endow her to be his wife. Yeah. So if a man, you know what I'm saying, is given a woman that was not betrothed, basically this means that she was not arranged. It was no arranged marriage yet. You know what I'm saying? So he endowed her to be his wife. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically meaning that when he popped that cherry and he had sex with her, that was basically his wife. You know what I'm saying? And then, so in the Most High's, eyes, the way he look at it is, that's how he looks at marriage. You know what I'm saying? He looks at if a man has sex with a woman, that's your wife. And in this incident here, so he will have to pay, the father 50 shekels, you know what I'm saying? And basically if the father refused, he will still have to pay, endow to the father, Yeah. So this would make whoever, basically this is speaking to whoever, the man or woman, husband or wife. In this case, he already popped her. He might have issues, or he might not, you know what I'm saying? He might tell you to pay 50 shekels, He will have to give the father money now because that is his wife now, you know what I'm saying? He popped that cherry and, you know what I'm saying? That's what he's gonna have to do, Yeah. So it's not like, and today it ain't like that, you know what I'm saying? But back in the ancient times, it was like this, and this is actually our custom. This is how it really supposed to be. But now Esau, got his hands and messed our people up, you know what I'm saying? And just did everything, messed everything up. And let me go to verse 17. If her father early refused to give her unto him, he should pay money according to the dowry of virgins. Yeah, like I said again. So he will have to, pay the 50 shekels to the father. And if the father refused, he would still have to pay to endow her to the father, you know what I'm saying? So in this case, he already popped her, he definitely will have to, pay 50 shekels because that might have, and the father might have an issue, like I said again, or he might not, you know what I'm saying? He will give that father that money, because now this is his wife, you know what I'm saying? He enticed her, he endowed her, and he had sex with her, and now that's his wife, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it really supposed to be. Let's go to Deuteronomy 22, verse 28. And if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, verse 29, then the man that lay with her should give unto the damsel father 50 shekels of silver, and she should be his wife, because he have humbled her, he may not put her away all his ways. All his days. So basically, once you lay down with that woman, you know what I'm saying, that was a virgin, you humbled that woman, you know what I'm saying? And now you have to make that woman your wife, you know what I'm saying? And you cannot put her away all your days, you know what I'm saying? Like the scriptures say, you can't put her away, you know what I'm saying? And now, if you look at things now, you know what I'm saying? You fast forward to today now, man, these women jumping from Jake to Jake, you know what I'm saying? That it's not like that now, you know what I'm saying? It's all messed up, you know? So when you look at everything today, how marriage is done, it's all wrong, it's all messed up, and it's all because of the so-called white man, the devil, the Bible speak of. Because now, like I said again, he made this as a business transaction to make money off a man and woman. You know what I'm saying? But in the Most High's eyes, he look at it as, if you lay down with the woman, and definitely if it's a virgin, you know what I'm saying? Or that woman that you lay down with, because it's going to be hard to find a virgin to this day. You have to stay with that woman for the rest of your life. And that's the dowry for a virgin. But if she was not a virgin, you know, in the Bible, she's supposed to be stoned and put to death, you know what I'm saying? You know. And when you look at this, when you look at the things, you actually become one flesh, you know. And let me get that and I'll close out. You become one flesh, man and woman, you know what I'm saying? And that's how the Most High look at, you know, marriage. He doesn't look at, oh, this is my fiance, you know what I'm saying? And then you got a fiance for 5 years. No, that's already your wife, man. When you popped that cherry that first time, that was your wife, man. You know? Genesis chapter 24. Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, Slaki. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they should be one flesh. Yeah, so like I say again, sex is marriage in the Bible. It's no such thing as getting on your knees, proposing to a woman, saying, this is my fiance. Then you wait 1 or 2 or 3 years before you get married. No, you already had sex. You already popped that cherry, Jake, or whoever it is, if it's in the heathens too, you know, the other nations, then that is your wife. And if you look at some of these other nations, they follow those customs, you know what I'm saying? You know, they follow those customs, you know. So I just want to say, you know, marriage is sex. It's not this modern day thing that Esau, Edom has, you know, pushed throughout the 4 corners of the earth. So now we're coming back to our true heritage, you know, who we really are. So I hope this was edifying. This is your brother Dawud Da. Come on, another lesson. I want to say Shalom, Call Allah, Yahweh, Shemi Al-Shai, Bashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone that rule and teach well, that taught us His truth, the 100% truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim on the 4 corners, risking their lives each and every day on these highways and byways. And to the brothers and sisters tuning in for edification, come with another lesson. Shalom.